Verse 1. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even. Now, wait, 2? I thought there were 3. Did one get lost along the way? What happened? Well, here Joseph Smith helps us out with the JST, one of the more minor corrections. He says, no, there were 3. They stuck together. Oh, okay, sorry. There came 3 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. Now notice Lot's location, because it keeps seeming to change. One of the first places we see him when he and Abraham split, right? At Abraham's offering, like, hey, you take whatever side you want. You cut the cookie and you can even pick the bigger half if you choose, and he does. And he goes down to this well-watered plain where Sodom and Gomorrah happen to be. But he's not in it. He's in danger of being of it. So let's stay back here. And he pitches his tent towards Sodom. We saw that last week. Well, in a matter of a chapter or 2, he's dwelling in Sodom. And then soon he's captive when Sodom is conquered by that enemy coalition. Well, then he's freed by Abraham and his commando raid, and he ends up going right back to Sodom. And by now, he's at the gate, sitting there. Now, this might be nothing. It might just be, it's a place to sit, right? Abraham at his tent flap, and then Lot at the gate of Sodom. Then again, city gates are symbolic of judgment. So this might actually be our foreshadowing that judgment is about to be passed on Sodom. But at the gate, often the city elders and leaders would sit to be able to pass judgment. Now this is the bench of the Supreme Court. This is the gate of the city. What do we allow in and what do we keep out? There's judgment calls, right, that we're making constantly. Well, we're going to see more of that in chapter 19. So good way to begin it. But it also, to me, says something about Lot. Best case scenario, he has risen in the estimation of his peers, and even though they don't want to live by his standards, they're glad that he does. It's this interesting irony, perhaps you have felt it yourself, where you're respected and even admired by people because of the way you live. But don't make me live that way. I certainly don't want to. There's a fascinating story in the Book of Mormon when Ammon has converted Lamoni and his people. And these others come in and they're like, everyone, is passed out. And they're like, it must be that same God that always helps out the Nephites. Amazing admission. How do they always beat us in battle when we always outnumber them? They must have God on their side. I don't know. I'm not going to do anything to get him on my side. I don't want to live like a Nephite. But same kind of idea. That could be what's happening with Lot. Wow, you're the type of person we want to help pass judgment and justice here. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario would be just one more step in the wrong direction for him. From pitching the tent to dwelling in to coming back to rising within the ranks. Do you make compromises with culture to do that you shouldn't have? I mean, Lot is good enough to be preserved. We'll see that. But I do worry about him because, as we've seen before, in the world but not of the world, contrary that we're trying to prove, every step we take deeper in is a step toward potentially becoming of. In my study of religious history, it's interesting to watch denominations divide and sometimes move along the spectrum of this worldly or otherworldly. How different do we want to be, or how much do we want to be like everyone to make a difference with them? You understand what I'm getting at? Every step I go deeper into the world, I'm infiltrating the enemy compound, right? I'm crossing enemy lines. Okay, good. And the deeper you get, the more difference you could make. But then again, the more difference they might make in you. So be careful. It's a gamble, believe me. And I just wonder, I don't know for sure, which side of that spectrum is Lot coming in on? Is this good news or bad?